This is the Land Rover Defender 90, the short one everyone falls for. And in 2026, it is the Defender you want and the hardest one to talk yourself into. Because this body, 3 doors and barely any overhang, is the original shape made modern. The name sits stamped across the nose, no chrome, no badges hidden, no apologies. Stay with me and I'll show you where it wins and where it hurts. It wears its name like a challenge. The stance says everything you need to know, so subscribe now and I'll tell you if it's worth wanting. That spare wheel bolted to the tailgate is not styling alone. It is a signal that this thing is built to be used. Land Rover leans hard into that idea, the boxy shoulders, the exposed bolts, the sense that every line has a job to do. And yet it never feels agricultural, because underneath the rugged costume sits a modern monocoque, not the ladder frame you might expect. Look closely and the craftsmanship shows through in the machine side vents, the flush glass, and the neat checker plate touches. The tires are built to crawl and cruise. A Jeep Wrangler 2-door does the same job for $38,000 with solid axles and a ladder frame, but it rides harder every day. But the Defender plays a cleverer game, blending that go-anywhere hardware with a cabin and a ride your family will actually tolerate. Up front, that face is pure confidence, signature round headlights, a flat grille, and the badge worn plainly across the top. Every surface up here feels deliberate and unforced. Under that upright hood sits a 3-liter straight-six diesel, an engine Americans cannot buy at home. It's the D250, 247 horsepower, but torque is the real story. 420 pound-feet, enough to tow 7,700 pounds. The mild hybrid system smooths the low-down shove, and on paper it should feel effortless rather than fast. 0 to 60 takes around 8 seconds. America's Petrol 6 does it in 5.7. So the performance is sorted. The harder question is what all of this asks of your wallet. And that answer is not a gentle one. Even the flush door handles feel expensive. The sheet on this glass is Swiss, so let's talk American money. The Defender 90 opens at $61,000. Add air suspension, 22-inch wheels, and the options climb fast. The top Vertex trim starts at $88,500. So what does that money buy inside? Quite a lot, as it turns out, because the Defender's cabin is where the design really pays off. Exposed metal structure, powder-coated beams, and grab handles that turn raw function into decoration. Nothing else at this price point feels quite so purposeful inside. The optional panoramic roof floods it with light and the driving position is commanding and upright. At the center sits an 11.4-inch curved screen running Land Rover's PV Pro software, sharp to look at and mostly logical to use. But here's the catch that no showroom mentions because Land Rover's software and electronics have a difficult reputation. Owner surveys have repeatedly placed the Defender near the bottom for reliability. Think glitchy infotainment and the odd electrical gremlin, so a strong warranty and a careful look at the service records matter more here than badge loyalty. Get a good one, and the cabin is a lovely place to sit. Tactile switches, deep seats, and materials that shrug off mud and dogs. It's built for a real muddy family life, which brings us to the space in the back. And this is where the short body asks for something back, because 2 doors make the rear bench harder to reach. Climb in though, and adults will sit fine back here, with decent head and knee room, helped by that upright boxy roofline. 3 across the bench is a squeeze. Optional heated rear seats and split folding backrests add flexibility, but it was never meant to be a 7-seater. Need 3 rows in the longer Defender 110 exists, that trade-off is the whole point of the 90. You give up practicality to own the coolest shape in the range, and plenty will do that gladly. Fold the rear seats down and a big flat floor opens up for bikes or kit. But behind those seats, upright, the cargo hold is genuinely small, just 15.6 cubic feet. That is barely more than a Camry's trunk. So the 90 is honest about what it is, a stylish adventure toy, not a family workhorse. That label is the diesel's argument, because America's 6 manages just 20 MPG. Defender 110 review next.